Direct from Foxborough, Massachusetts, the gem of Norfolk County, and taped at the studios of Foxborough Cable Access. It's Foxborough Central. And here's your host, Bob Hickey.
Welcome to another great episode of Foxborough Central. That's right, I'm Bob Hickey. I am your host. And hey, wait a second, everybody. Wait, this is Studio A. Gary Nash, my man behind the glass, who does the best job of producing these programs I can even imagine. We're not in Studio A today. We are over in Studio K. Come on over to Studio K with me, everybody. Hi, I'm Bob Hickey. Welcome to Studio K. That's right, Foxborough Cable Access is your leader in all types of community programming, including our kitchen studio. Welcome to the inaugural use. I'm here today with Bill Casbera. Bill, he is our
Good morning. Good morning, Bob.
Commissioner.
How are you?
Building Commissioner?
Building Commissioner, yes,
Zoning
sir.
Inspector? Officer?
Zoning Enforcement Officer.
Zoning Enforcement Officer. And a multiple-time winner of the Town of Foxborough Chili Cook-Off at Town Hall.
Well, multiple, I don't know. It's been...
In my mind.
In your mind.
Thank you very much. So as perhaps you've noticed, we are here in Studio K. We are going to talk about building stuff, zoning stuff, and chili. We're going to do a little cooking as we talk because there's just too much program to fit into one episode, right?
Absolutely.
What are we cooking today?
Well, we're going to make some chili here. We got the ingredients to start this show, and you're going to be my co-pilot.
I will be your co-pilot.
Assistant cook.
Okay.
And we'll just get this going. And
well, I'm no Rachel Ray, but I'll be a happy helper. How about that?
That's close enough. Close enough.
So I see before us we have a variety of ingredients, and of course everybody's most important ingredient, coffee, which is my number one go in the morning.
Absolutely.
So what are we cooking here? It's chili. It's stuff. You've done some prep work here. And
I did, yes.
What is the first thing we do?
The first thing we're going to do is we're going to saute up some onions and jalapeno peppers.
Okay,
and some
so
garlic.
you've pre-cut the onions.
Yep, I got one large sweet onion in there.
One large sweet onion. And you've pre-cut the peppers. These are bell peppers right off the shelf, right? You can just
no, they're not bell peppers.
Oh, they're not bell peppers?
No, they're jalapeno peppers, and there's 4 of those in there. This what we're going to do today is make servings for 6 people.
Okay.
So there's 4 in there, one large sweet onion, and we're going to cook those up. I got 6 cloves of garlic.
6 cloves of garlic.
Go ahead, smell that. My hands still smell from last night.
And by the way, of course, we did wash our hands, and you at home, as you're following along and making this recipe, you should wash your hands also, but woo, I can smell that. I think 2 of the camera operators just passed out.
They were fresh.
There we go. So we've got our garlic, we've got our jalapeno peppers, and we've got our sweet onions.
Yep.
And you have the skillet set to what temperature?
I have a skillet, and I've got it at 250 right now. You don't want it too hot because you don't want to burn anything here. So one thing I do use is olive oil. I do not use corn oil or...
You don't use corn oil?
No. No.
So this is the olive oil of choice.
Well, it doesn't really matter. You know what? I go to the supermarket and I get what's on sale, regardless. So
we're not going top shelf and everything. You're going on what's on sale.
No, because we're going to make our own. We're going to spice it up.
So the key to this chili is to have some fun with it. Don't worry so much about the ingredients, but worry about the ingredients.
Well, yeah. Don't worry about the price of these things. So
excellent.
I'm going to add some little olive oil in there.
Okay.
We already have that up to temperature, so I'm going to start off, put the onions in here.
All right. And then I'm going to ask you a few questions about the building department while we're watching this do its nice thing. And every once in a while we'll tilt that up so the folks at home can see our concoction cooking, shall we say.
Yep.
Now you hold off on the garlic until
later. Because I don't want to burn. The garlic tends to burn, and we don't want to do that, so we're going to add that.
And the garlic burns just because it's cut so small, and these are cut larger, or?
Well, yeah, but the garlic tends to burn anyway. You know, if you're making a tomato sauce, still the same type of thing, it'll burn. So you add that last.
Folks at home probably realize that I don't make so many tomato sauces, so these are all questions I'm asking because I really don't know, and I'm glad you're taking the time to share with us. So Bill Casbera, our zoning enforcement officer, our building commissioner, how did you come to Foxborough?
Well, that's a good question. was the assistant inspector here under my predecessor for a couple of years. And then I went to another town as a building inspector.
Norton, right?
I went to Norton for 2 years and as a building inspector there. And then the building commissioner job opened up here. And when I was here as an assistant, I really liked Foxborough. I just liked the way it was. It just seemed to be a great town to work for. So when the position opened up, I applied. I liked it in Norton.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It's enjoyed that.
Well, one positive is not a negative on someone else. It's all good here.
It was all good. So I came here and lucky enough to get the job.
Now you've been here for
this will be
16 years, 15 years.
15 years.
15
Man,
years.
time flies, doesn't it? 15. It's hard to believe.
I remember walking the trails of Camp Lincoln Hill with you as we looked at some of the projects that you had done and I had done back in the JC days. And you were an old Plainville JC, right?
Yeah, I was an old Plainville JC back in the 70s. Actually, a JC senator.
There we go.
Actually, Bob was one of the first individuals I met here in town because it was the JCs at the time had the haunted house, you may remember, at the old auditorium.
That's right, we're in the auditorium, and then you, being the good building inspector that you are, you pointed out that it probably wasn't the safest of environments, and you encouraged us to find a safer location.
Yeah, that was,
and you were very helpful in that, and Camp Lincoln Hill turned out to be a very nice location. And now that haunted house is at the Orpheum Theater, and it's been taken over by Bill Cunningham and that crew. They do a great job.
Yeah, they do. So the event's still going on.
Yep.
We've had a few different locations, but it all worked out. And then it was when I first got here, I said, "Oh, it's a nice, quiet town. Nothing's really happening." Boy, what was I thinking?
Not so much, huh?
And then 6 months into the job, you hear, "Oh, they're going to be building a new NFL stadium." So, nothing like jumping right into the fire.
It's a great resume builder.
At the time, I had to do a lot of studying, and there wasn't too many books on it. So it was a challenge, but it was fun. But for 3 years, it was a lot of work to get that done. And obviously, the product is something that we're all proud of. But that was baptism by fire,
yes,
truly.
Yes. And I got to know you, of course. I became a selectman in this town right as the stadium opened. And so I got to really get to know you through that. And then, you're a good guy and you do so much for this town. People don't really understand all the different things you do. And, without going to the website at the town of Foxborough, just, top 10 things. And I know there's more, but top 10 things that fill your day with excitement.
Well, it's not a glamorous job by any means, and it is a challenge. But we do more than just issue permits and plan reviews. But people don't realize there are 9 inspectors in our department, and
really,
yeah, there's
for the
9
different things like electrical,
plumbing, sealer of measuring weights. If you go to a gas station and you look at a little sticker on each tag, you'll see that one of our inspectors, Ray McKay, he goes out and he does every pump in town. He'll do every scale at the meat market. They're all checked for accuracy. It doesn't matter if it's apothecaries or whatever it might be. He does that, and he's the oldest serving sealer of measuring weights in the Commonwealth, 45 years. So he's been doing that for a long time. And this year we, for the first time, we're able to get an assistant, Kevin Duquette, who works for the Board of Health.
Yes.
But he's right now under Ray's tutelage and doing that.
Great.
So we also do.
Nice to see good continuity and also keeping it within the family, so to speak.
Yep, exactly. So he does that. And we do also all the mechanicals, inspections and issuing of those permits as well. So that's just the building code aspect of it. And then doing all the inspections that they go through the construction process and the stages.
Now you also, by the way, should we be doing something while we're waiting for this to saute?
Should we? Good point.
Because I'm your assistant. And I would like to assist.
We're going to put some stuff in the crock pot here. We're going to do some dual cooking.
Okay.
And I know we're up to the challenge.
All right. So when I cook, of course, I would just open up a can of chili, and then I would put that in the crock pot or maybe the microwave, heat it up nicely, put a little cheese on top as you see in the label, and of course, just pretend there's a piece of black tape over the brand name because we don't endorse anybody. But as Bill says, it's not really so much the ingredient name, it's the fact that you're putting it all together in this concoction.
Correct.
So I'm not going to use this. Bill told me not to, so get that out of here. In the garbage, 2 shots. Hey-oh. Too bad we didn't have the action camera on that, but anyway. So what am I doing here first? Well, let me just go through what I have. I have diced petite tomatoes. I have tomato sauce. I have red kidney beans. I have cannellini beans, white kidney beans.
And the reason we have the cannellini beans and the dark red, it's just really for contrast of colors. It doesn't really matter if it's light or light kidney beans or the white. These are good beans, though, the cannellinis. So again, we've got 1 large can of each that we're going to open up and get those. 2 cans of the the petite diced tomatoes. I don't like the regular diced. They're a little bit too large for the concoction. Is that what you're calling it? For the concoction. So we get the petite, and we have 2 cans of those.
All right. So what do I do first?
All right. We're going to open those cans.
All these cans?
All those cans.
All right. Am I going to drain, or am I just going to...
Yeah. One thing you want to do is, the mistake I did way back when I started doing this was I wouldn't drain the cans. And you don't want to do that because it's got salt in it, and you want to get rid of that. And the sauce came out too watery.
Okay.
So we're going to open up 2 cans of the petite tomatoes.
All right.
And
through the magic of television, there's one.
There's one.
All right.
And what we're going to do is we're going to drain them. Just put them right in here.
Okay.
You can do the rest. And we're going to do it all in one shot.
Are we really?
Yeah.
So,
you think so?
Hey, I am your assistant.
You know what?
No.
Let's do the...
But you're going to tell me.
Yeah, let's do the tomatoes first.
Okay.
Just so we don't overflow.
And then we'll put that in the garbage right here.
Okay.
We'll put it in the garbage right there. And so this goes right in there?
Yep.
Okay. And you want me to open up the sauce? No, probably not.
No, not yet.
No. The beans.
Yep.
The white beans and the red beans. Beans, beans, nature's fruit. The more you eat...
Don't say it. Don't say it. We're on
Never
TV.
mind.
But it's true. So I love Blazing Saddles. Remember that scene?
It's a great... Blazing Saddles is one of those classics.
Never fails to make you laugh.
All right.
All right, let me do this here.
Okay. In go the petite diced tomatoes.
Because there's more water in here than you think. Look at all that.
You know, that is interesting, because if you look at it, that is a...
That's a lot.
That's a lot, and that would make the chili very soupy, would it not? And I can tell already there's a tremendous amount of moisture in these beans. Whoops.
Now, I have to tell you...
Can I borrow that spoon there?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. And my wife makes a really good chili, so there's a little competition in the house.
Whose chili is better?
You know what? She makes good chili, too.
Very diplomatic, and she will be watching this, and so it's very diplomatic of you. Good man.
But she's the one. I use light kidney beans, and she got me into the cannellini beans, the white ones instead of the light. So.
It was nice. It was nice of her to let you come out and do this with us. Oh, that's a toughie. Yeah, look at all that moisture. So that would just be souping up the...
Exactly.
That would just be souping up the chili and making it, I'm sure, not as rich.
Yeah. Plus, there's salt in there, too, and I don't... kind of watch what we do for salt intake now. Never thought I'd say. Never thought I'd be saying
older,
that.
But nope. You know what? It's always good to have a spoon when getting these out of the bottom of the can. There you go, sir.
Great.
And again, an awful lot of moisture. I'm going to put that in our Red kidney beans. Make the world go round. You got that?
I got it.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to set this aside and get this out of the way. Now, as we get prepared for the next step, what is the next step?
You know what, Bob?
I'll take that off your hands.
Open that can of tomato sauce, if you wouldn't.
I will do that.
Wouldn't mind, because we can add that in there.
Put it right in.
Yeah.
Now, this is not a brand name tomato sauce. This is just tomato sauce.
Exactly.
Because you like things to be completely bland, you don't want there to be flavor, or because you may have some tricks up your sleeve for a little flavoring of your own?
Well, you know what? It marinates or blends in with all the others, so we're not making tomato sauce here. It's just give it a little consistency.
Excellent.
All right.
So I'm going to open up the tomato sauce, which is just any brand name of any name of tomato sauce. And here you go.
And I'm going to put just one can for this, and we're going to add that in there.
Folks at home didn't see me do that, sorry.
What'd you do?
I didn't do anything.
What?
I had to sample.
One thing that, one accomplishment this year that kind of went under the radar was every 5 years, the insurance companies, they'll hire a consultant. It's called the ISO, Insurance Study Organization. You've probably heard of them.
Yes.
They do the fire department every 5 years.
Well, ISO
too.
is the broad name given to regulations. So there's a lot of ISO regulations.
Exactly.
And standards by which different industries go by. So the ISO is a familiar name, but you're talking specifically insurance.
Exactly. And every 5 years, they'll come in and they'll audit our department for building code, what they call building code effectiveness. So this year, actually last year, in 2012, a consultant came in, spent the day going through our records and auditing the department. They check on the inspections that we do and how we enforce the code. They're quite thorough, actually, and it's a tough grading system, but we did very well this year. We scored in the upper 20% of the communities in the Commonwealth. So we scored a little bit better in commercial than we did in residential, but again, both of them were upper 20%. So we were pleased with that, but what that meant for the residents...
There's got to be an outcome.
There is. For the residents of Foxborough, those that have buildings or property in town, that pay insurance on them, the fact that we had a good rating meant that the premiums, or whatever you want to call it,
you get more favorable.
You get a more favorable review.
Impressive.
And it reflects in the lessening of the cost for insurance for the property owners. So
now, with the
direct...
ISO standards, what does that? What is your department? How do you? Is it documentation? Is it number of inspections? Is it the professionalism of the staff? The way the zoning is enforced? All these things come into play.
Zoning really didn't come into it. It was
Not
strictly
zoning.
Building code effectiveness.
Okay, so it's really what comes out of your office as far as inspections and ensuring that compliance for new construction, existing structures.
It's just how you. It's not really existing structures. It's how you apply the code, the most current code, and whether your department can actually effectively cover that. And also, you did make a very good point. It's the type of inspections you do, what you look for, and it's got to be uniform according to the code,
So
the international code.
consistency.
Yeah, making sure that it's constructed per the most recent building code. And they'll actually go out and see what you do out in the field. Where they, understandably, where we could have got a little bit better grading was, we're not a very large department.
It's you have an assistant?
We have an assistant, right. When we do have very large projects in town,
Right.
whether it be the stadium or Patriot Place or whatever it might be.
And upcoming perhaps in Ventus?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that would qualify in Ventus, but the town at least had the foresight to say, okay, you can go out and hire additional staff to cover this because it's a large development, and that's paid through building permit fees.
Right.
So it's not like we're asking for more money.
It's not a burden of the taxpayer. These are actual.
No.
These are costs because a fee, in
Exactly.
the parlance of revenue generation, a fee covers costs. For example, the parking permit fees covers administrative costs of administering the various lots. It's not actually a tax. It's
Why are you
imposed
talking
upon
there,
the
Robert?
lot
Could I have a little bit more of that olive oil?
Olive oil, olive oil. Ho,
Because
ho,
we're-
ho, hey.
Because we're going to throw the garlic in now.
Ah,
we got this
okay.
trying to.
Not only
a
are you
little bit
good looking, but
trans-
you're cooking. Here we go. All right, bum. So the garlic?
Garlic, I got 6 cloves. I like to put a lot of garlic in there, and what's nice is with the olive oil, the olive oil pick up the flavor of that we add in there, so you get good taste of it.
Okay, great.
I diced this up last night and washed, and still this morning.
Definitely smells fresh.
Oh yeah, it is fresh.
I'll take that off your hands.
Okay, thank you.
Unless we want to, let's put
And
that
we'll do
there.
it a little bit more.
All right.
So.
We'll have the kitchen help come in afterwards. And
This
oh, wait a
place
second,
is-
I'm the
this
kitchen
place
help.
This place is going to smell.
I wish you folks at home could enjoy this because
Yeah.
it smells great. So we have, yes, we need to get some smell-o-vision going. So we'll put that in the budget for next year's cable access
Smell-o-vision.
contract. And 2019, be on the lookout for smell-o-vision, direct from Comcast and Verizon to you. So how long does this chili take to really prep up and absorb and cook and...
Take at least 2 hours.
2 hours, okay, great.
Yeah.
So
You
folks
can-
at home, feel free to stay with us for 2 hours. Never mind, with the magic of television, we're going to do a slight edit when it comes time to cook. We're going to let it percolate for an hour and a half after we're done with this, so have no fear. So the garlic you put in there about a minute ago, how long do you reckon the garlic is going to take before we start to...
You know, when I'm almost ready to another minute or two, and then we're going to put some,
So we have time for a quick question.
yeah.
Who's in your staff? Who's in the office? If I were to go to town hall and I go in the front doors and I take a left of the hallway, go down to your department, which is at the end of the hall.
Yep.
Who do I see?
Our secretary is Valerie Green. She's
Okay.
been there, eight years now.
Yes.
My assistant is Tom Wren, who's currently going for his building commissioner's certification.
Really? Oh, good for him.
Yeah, so that's great.
Well, he's a good guy. And he
is.
He's
He
been
is.
here a while.
He's also been here 7 years, I think.
Yeah, you've got a very consistent department.
We do.
Must be a good place to work.
Yeah, we try and have a good time, but yet get the work done too.
Yep.
I think that's really important. Glenn Saltis is the electric inspector. And Sean Wills is our assistant electric inspector.
Okay.
And they're paid through fees collected. That's I think kind of important to note. It's you know, it depends. They get a portion of the fees collected, and then what?
Well, for the services rendered. So.
For
And then there's
services
administrative
rendered.
costs on top. cover
Exactly.
overhead, so that's how the Foxborough fee structure is created. It's an analysis done on what the true costs are, and then every so often, every couple of years, you get you adjust them, and that goes to the Board of Selectmen, right? They have to approve the fees.
It's hard, Bob, to determine what that might be because the project, we don't know what the projects are. Sometimes we have a good idea, but most of the time we don't know what's coming in the next year for projects, like the Meditech one. Nobody anticipated that happening. That's a big project. That's the old Beacon One insurance building on Commercial Street, and Meditech is totally gutted the building and
Really?
totally gutted, and they're going to be going in there. That's a very large project. Spending quite a bit of money on that too. So nobody anticipated those large ones. We look forward to them. But
I was going to say, does that put a burden, or is that a
No.
welcome addition to the workflow?
no, it's
As long as they don't all happen at once.
Right. It's been obviously, as you know, the construction industry, the housing industry suffered tremendously over the past 4 or 5 years. Fortunately, Foxborough's still pretty busy. It picked up. It slacked off like every other community, but it picked up. So we're actually pretty busy right now, but I'd rather have it. I know the staff would rather have it that way.
I smell the
Yeah.
I smell
right.
the beauty of this. This is,
Okay.
and I also noticed, and you're absolutely correct, the garlic does seem to be browning up nicely.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna put this in right in this chili.
Okay, what can I do to assist with this?
You know what? On this one, it's a hot skillet.
I'll hold that then. There
Hold
we go.
that.
I will get this plug out of your way.
Yeah. And I'm gonna put that right in.
Logo out.
We're gonna put this right in here.
Okay. On the next time we have a cooking program, he'll do it the other way, so that way the folks at home can see the food going in as opposed to the back of the skillet.
Yeah, but then I couldn't see it, and I'd have the stuff all over the table. That's not good.
You know, maybe we'll talk to our executive director, Mike Weber, about getting a ceiling camera. Yeah, for the direct overhead shot. And you know what the thing is? Now that I mentioned it, I have no doubt that there will soon be a ceiling camera up there because Mike Weber is the best. He's absolutely the best.
He is a good man.
And now that he sees the possibilities here, I suspect that on our next episode of Cooking with Bill, we will have an overhead shot.
What?
I said our next episode of Cooking with Bill Casbera, our building commissioner.
You're going to do a breakfast for everybody. Can I have that plug again, Bob?
You may have the plug.
Plug it in.
Pardon me, folks. There you go, sir.
Okay.
And what is the next ingredient?
Yeah, I'm going to put this is for a serving for 6 people, so I use a pound of chopped meat.
Okay, ground beef here?
Yeah.
Can you also use turkey? Can you use anything else?
You could use what you want. Turkey, I suppose.
But you like beef.
Pork, you could probably use pork, but
you
I go with
prefer
more.
cow.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't go with a meatless chili too, so it doesn't mean you have to use it. You can put it.
So this recipe works for meatless chili also?
It does.
Do you do anything different, or do you simply just exclude the meat?
Just exclude the meat.
So meat optional, but today we're going to go with it because that's the way
I like it to
roll.
be a meal. So we're just going to put this in here and break it up.
All right.
Let that just brown up.
Waste not, want not.
And this will brown up pretty fast.
I love the smell of chili cooking. I know that when my wife Kathy makes chili, and by the way, that is the best chili I've ever had. My wife's Kathy, who makes the best chili. Yours is a close second, though.
Again, nice political move.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I may have been born tonight, but I wasn't born last night. So, as this browns up, and that's going to go very quickly, you mentioned that Meditech is currently gutting and redoing. So this is not new construction, this is reconstruction. What are some of the challenges that go into managing that type of a project?
That's a good question. That's what they call existing building code would apply to
Which
that.
is different than new.
Yes it is. You've got a relatively, it's not that old, that building. It was built in the 80s.
For those of us who know where it is.
The 80s, I think. But depending on the type of work you do, you got to bring it into current code. And since they're gutting that building and completely doing it over, more than 50% of the area of the building, they've got to make it comply with the current building code. So there's a challenge there. But because of the size of the project, the challenge is really the architects and the engineers. We just have to make sure we're more or less facilitators and make sure that the plans that they submit does comply during our review, which is a lot of work to review those plans.
Now, I know that you put more work into it than simply review. We here in Studio K at Foxborough Cable Access enjoyed we'll say, working with your office as we moved here. And it was just a year and a half ago that we started this project to create out of the old, we're here at our studios at 28 Central Street. And this building, never mind, a century ago it used to have 2 stories, but prior to this it was a couple of retail outlets. And then we converted it completely into our beautiful new studios and offices for Foxborough Cable Access. So some of the work that we did, including the basement, we had to come up to standards also.
Yeah, this was, you made a good point that this had a second floor on it, and I think it came down during the blizzard of '78, didn't it? Was it taken down or?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. So it was reconstructed.
When I moved here, there was a pharmacy. When I moved to town.
Really?
There was a Brooks Pharmacy, I believe. Back in the day.
Yeah, so I think the challenge for...
I'm getting nods from the folks in the back here that I'm correct on that. So every once in a while I get it right.
I think if I remember Mike Weber telling me that the issue here was the ceiling height in the camera room.
Yeah, in Studio A, we were very concerned that we would actually have to raise the roof. We love the facility, and we love the fact that it's right here in downtown Foxborough. We thought that we could become a great partner with the rest of the community as we keep the Central Street area vibrant with foot traffic, and just the activity that we have going on here, and plus the opportunity to come into the center of town is key for us with our volunteers and accessibility. But the challenges were, as you well know, is that we were concerned. A typical television studio back in the day was a cavern because you had to move sets, you had all the lights, and the lighting was on a grid. But some of the nice things that happened here is that with new technology, the lighting grid could actually be converted, transferred without raising the ceiling. So we have a very attractive and functional set or a studio without having to raise the roof. And so that was a huge win for us.
Yeah, and the old building on East Belcher Street,
yep.
That was always problematic for you guys because it was a mixed-use building. There was all slowly
well, we
stuff
were sharing
going.
Space.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
It was in. Actually, there were two stores here. One
Yep.
is this little bike shop
had been
and then a
divided
flower,
exactly.
a flower shop. So you kind of did it in phases. One part, the first part was
where we're at here in Studio
sh-
K. This is the old flower shop, and
Yep.
now it is the executive offices, our editing studio. We did
and the bike shop. Yeah, the bike shop was the other.
And for those of you who are fans of Foxborough Central, there is an upcoming episode that was shot when we first opened that will be giving you pretty much the grand tour of the facilities. So be on the lookout for that on Foxborough Central. Shameless plug.
That's okay.
I'm not opposed to giving myself a shameless plug every once in a while.
So the key for us during this renovation was that you were able to get yourself a good architect who kind of listened to your needs and worked through that. And you went out and I'm assuming you looked around for builders and you got a good one there.
We
Grant
had very good work,
Grant. Yeah.
and they worked great with us. But also, it can't underscore or understate just the amount of work that our executive director Mike Weber did as far as designing and understanding what our needs were and fitting everything into a functional use. Plus our board of directors working with him to create the opportunities. So a lot of credit goes, and of course Foxborough is the winner when they have this vibrant volunteer organization for, basically
it's right
community,
in the center,
for government, education, and public access. So.
Plus, it's right in the center of town, so it's great accessibility and visibility for you. So it's been a win-win for everybody.
So enough about how great we are.
Yeah.
We are great. Where are we at with the chili? I see you're just about brown.
I'm just about brown, but what I do here is I do drain the grease.
Okay. Well, let me take care of that for you.
There's not a lot, but I do tend to.
You know what?
Get rid of that.
The key here is to drain and keep the liquids down because as you're cooking everything up, it's going to percolate up, and we're still going to generate liquid.
Oh yeah.
Enough. So this is going to be a moist chili. You're not making hamburger over there.
It's going to be moist. It's going to be a meal. It'll be a meal.
Excellent.
And I'm going to unplug this. Put this over here. Okay.
Okay. What can I do to help? Can I hold that for you as you scoop?
Can you?
I can.
I guess so. Let me move your hand. Just be careful. It's hot. Grab by the handles here.
I got you covered.
Okay.
That looks good. Let me just go up a little bit so I don't hook the thing there.
I just want to get most of that grease out. Get that.
Now you don't want to dump the whole thing in there.
No. It's still got the flavor of the garlic and the olive oil because we didn't clean the pan, so we want to save some of that. That's good, Bob.
Okay.
That's good.
There you go.
Excellent. I got it.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay.
Positive. Again, I'm going to blindside everybody here.
That's all right. We'll catch you on the next one. All right, let me get that out of the way. Do a little cleanup here.
Yep.
Nobody's going to burn themselves. That's good. Again, for those of you at home, we're cooking chili with Bill Caspari. He's our building commissioner here in Foxborough, as well as a zoning enforcement officer. So now that you've got a pound of beef, pound and a half of beef.
Yep, just about. Yeah, pound and a half, a little bit more.
2 cans of diced petite tomatoes. 1 can of spaghetti sauce.
Yep.
And these are 12-ounce cans. You also have 1 16-ounce can of white kidney beans called cannellini.
Yes.
All right.
And
then 1 can, 16-ounce, of red kidney beans.
Yep.
Plus 4 diced sweet onions.
No.
1 diced sweet onion.
one. And I didn't dice it either. You want to be careful. You want to just.
You want to cut it.
Yeah, you just want to cut it.
chop
So
it.
you got pieces in there.
Okay. And then you have 4 jalapeno peppers.
Right.
I know I had 4 of something in there. And 6 fresh cloves of garlic.
Yep.
Minced.
Okay. See,
All
a lot
right.
of color in that one, huh?
I like it. It's looking good. For
Now
those
we're
of you
gonna.
who
Now we
can't
got to put some secret ingredients in that. In about 2 seconds won't be secret. So.
Okay then. Now, if this chili comes out of town hall because somebody else has watched this episode, we'll be on to it. All right, no cheating, everybody.
What do they say?
Okay, so what do we have here? We have ground black pepper.
Yep.
We have chili powder. We have.
Turn it around. That's in Spanish.
Well, okay. Ground. Bill goes to some strange stores.
Yeah.
Ground cumin. Ta-da. And are we done with the olive oil?
We're done with the olive oil.
And then you have fancy grade A, #1 sweet and zesty honey barbecue sauce.
Yep. Okay. And what I need, Robert, for you to do is 3/4 of a cup of the barbecue sauce.
3/4 of a cup of honey barbecue sauce.
Yep. And I'm going to reach over here and grab these.
Please
things.
do.
Okay.
All right. Now, since I know that the amounts that you put in are the real secret and joy to this, I'm not going to.
Again, this is for. You could add more or a little bit less. What it does, it adds a little sweetness to it. Gives it a little extra flavor.
Okay.
I got 1 teaspoon. I'm going to put half a teaspoon of black powder. Yeah. And today will be the gun and knife show. Okay.
Now, do you remember the old Cajun chef? You're like, we'll put a little bit of stuff and just toss it all in there. So you actually do try to measure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, chili, you got to the powder, chili powder. You got to be careful. You know, if you can. I start out with half a teaspoon. Because you can always make it hotter, but if you make it too hot right out of the gate, it's tough to get it watered down. But so we can always.
You can kick it up a notch, but it's hard to kick it out.
And I do put 2 teaspoons of the cumin in it because it'll give it a kind of a smoky taste.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not terribly familiar with cumin, so it's a. Ooh.
It's. You can.
I was just going to say.
You can smell that.
Ooh, that's
so it gives it gives it a nice smoky taste.
And in fact, I would have thought of it in the chili powder, but that cumin is very much a chili odor.
Okay, and then we're going to add this.
So with these spices, these are not.
That's it. Nothing fancy.
These are not from the commercial firm that's out of Baltimore, Maryland, that everybody typically associates with spices. Is there a reason or a benefit for top shelf as opposed to the lower shelves that you're using here?
I'm not. I suppose if I was snooty, I could.
Snooty.
Snooty. That's a word. I could.
If anybody works for that company out of Baltimore, our apologies.
Yeah.
We have no intent to be snooty or non-snooty here. But there's good odor. So I know that some people believe that the brand names retain their. Ooh.
Yeah.
Hello. So
now,
some people believe that the brand names retain their flavor and aroma more. Do you buy into this? Do you believe there's a lot of?
Well, what do they tell you? You know, the spices you shouldn't keep more than a year in your kitchen cabinet. But And those are fairly fresh.
Okay.
But
So we'll
I
set
don't
those
go out
aside.
and get the specialty items.
So this is your award-winning chili, the same ingredients you normally use.
Yep. The only difference today is I use the white beans, the white kidney instead of the light.
Okay.
Right. It's the same bean though.
A kidney bean is a kidney bean.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So we got that. We got that pretty much stirred.
Wow.
It's good, huh?
So how long is that going to cook for now?
I'll let that cook for at least an hour.
All right. Well, that must give us time for another question or two.
Yep.
So with you, and have I got questions? So we're here talking.
Come on, see if you can stump me, Bob. Let's go.
Stump the bill. So with the 2013 season coming upon us, and building, I typically would imagine, kicks up in the spring. What are some of the big projects coming up that you're looking forward to, or maybe even concerned about? You seem fairly confident. I'm sure you're not concerned about anything, so we'll go and look forward to.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about any of them. I know there's been some talks now about doing a major renovation at Inventus company. That's going through some negotiations or discussions.
Yep.
And I don't think negotiations, but discussions with town management right now.
Well, the Foxborough company has been a part of our community for over 100 years.
Over
and
100 years,
this would represent a major commitment to the area, one would think. I think the estimates are $30 million renovation.
Yeah,
project.
30 million, 33.
That's
so
a pretty significant
large
investment for an out-of-town firm to put into our aging infrastructure. So it's great news for Foxborough if that were to happen.
Yeah, if they can retain, I think they employ about 1,000 employees. So if they can retain that job base or even increase it, that would be a win-win.
That would be a huge win
for
sure.
Foxborough. But I don't know exactly when that would happen, Bob. Again, like I said, it's going through discussions now, and I don't even know what type of renovations or work is involved in that money.
So with people at home, if you're watching, say I want to redo my garage or make an in-law apartment. I know that you also work hand in hand with the zoning board, and that you
Zoning and
represent
planning.
to them, and you also present with planning. So how do the different boards come into play with what you do, and how does your ability or responsibility to enforce zoning regulations play into planning board and what you do with them?
That's a good question. For example, you pointed out accessory apartment. We don't call it in-law, it's an accessory apartment, but depending on where your property is located.
I say tomato, you say tomato, it's all good.
Depending on where where your house is and you want to put the apartment in, it depends, the zoning district. You may have to go to the planning board for what's called a special permit, which is part of the zoning requirement, which does have placed some guidelines, some restrictions on what you can, how large you can build it, and it has to be for a family member. But so we would direct, people usually come to us in the building department.
And they visit you down at Town Hall, and they can go into, and your office is located in there, or they can call your office at 508-543-1206. That's your direct line?
That's correct.
Excellent.
That's correct. So they'll usually start off in the inspection department, and then either, if it's something that we can deal with directly without sending them to a board, we will, and we'll explain it to them, the process, applying for a building permit. If it's some zoning kicks in, again, we'll direct them to the right committee or board. For an accessory apartment, for example, that would be the permit granting authority is what they call it, would be the planning board. Okay,
so the planning board grants the permit.
Yeah, and then they need a building permit, and they can go ahead and construct
But
that.
you can't issue a building permit until you get...
No.
Excellent.
No.
And these applications and forms, are they available online at the town website?
They are available on the town web.
We have a fairly robust website.
Yeah, we do now.
Randy Scollins and everybody.
Yeah, he's done a great job.
Yeah.
He's done a good job on that. So, and it's fluid. It constantly changes and updates and keeps the residents surprised
so people can read about these, and they can go on, and for those of you at home, I'm not going to read off the website, but if you Google up Foxborough, spelled the old way, Massachusetts town homepage, and you'll pull it right up, and all the forms are in there, PDF forms. You just print them off in your home printer. And...
Yep. You can't fill them out online and submit them online yet.
You still have to submit them.
You have to come in
Because
in
there's
person.
a fee, I would assume, attached for that.
Well, yes, and we most of the time we want to see the contractor, see the homeowner, and discuss they'll need to do.
And I know that from experience. It's one of the things. You do know all the projects that are going on in town, and you or your assistant. I've always felt, and I've done some renovations on my house also, I've always felt as though you knew what was going on.
Yeah, and again, a lot of times you talk about the website, but for the majority of people, they want to come down and see a face. They'll print they'll print the forms online, but they'll want to come down and discuss it. So a lot of it then, sometimes we'll need a special permit or variance to construct it. Then we would direct them to the zoning board.
Okay. Now, and then you sit in at the zoning board meetings?
Yeah. Yeah, but just an advisory role.
Right.
Unlike the town planner sitting in on the planning board where there's direct interactions. Mine's more of an advisory.
So you're there to answer questions or clarify rulings or to, opine as to...
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. If the construction's near wetlands, they'll need conservation approval. If you're adding a bedroom, something like that, Board of Health. It could be water and sewer if you're going to increase the sewer flow. And so, there's a lot of, it's not a simple one step.
But the first step, if I'm living next to a wetlands and I'm thinking of building an accessory apartment and I also need to potentially put in a commercial kitchenette because I think my in-laws want to have a diner, I need to go to all these different boards, but where would I start? With your office?
With our office.
So you're the first step, and then you can sort of spider out what the different issues are and then identify and point in the right direction.
Exactly.
Excellent. So you are the catch-all. You're the first stop.
Usually. I mean,
and you're the final word.
Usually.
We are running out of time, and I am looking forward to having some of this chili. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to wave our magic wand, and this chili is going to cook. Are you ready? Hocus pocus, cut. Okay.
We off?
We're off.
That went
We
quick.
are off, right? Okay.
That went quick.
Okay. Well, no, now we're going to have our bowl of chili. We're going to do our final.
You know what? You brought some bowls?
I did. I'm not going to use the glass ones because I don't want people to actually see. No. Oh, do you want to use it?
You know what? Give me one of your bowls, Bob, that you brought.
Could you, out of that briefcase there, I've got a couple bowls.
Because I might want to spice this up or kick it down, whatever. Oh, that looks good though, huh?
It does. Or do you want to use the glass bowls and just put that out? It won't be hot, but I think...
Oh, it's hot.
Okay, so you know what? Never mind. Let's use the glass bowls because I think
I'm going to take a little taste, and maybe this is okay to taste, you know? Because the beans are cooked.
Right.
It just was to heat them up.
Because I think they'd be great to have the visual. I'm sorry, Deb. Thank you so much. Here you go. You can use that.
Yeah. Let me give it that.
Or that.
That's good. Let me stir that.
We're going to edit this out.
Yeah, I'm sure. Thank you so much. I brought the big spoon for me.
The big mouth.
But I'm bummed.
I'm just going to take a little sip here. I'll let you know if it's ready. It's got a little spank to it.
Yeah. All right.
It's got a little sweet to it too.
So I'll tell you what. Let's do this. When we closed, was it panned in on that, or what was the scene? What was the visual like that? Was that the last thing that was seen?
No, he's going to edit it.
I know, but I'm trying to make some flow. So
Still going.
don't worry about it. All right. So what we can do then is once you start off with one bowl already filled, and then filling up the other one, and we'll talk about it as you're doing that. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right.
It's really not ready though.
I know. But they don't know that.
They don't.
You don't know that, do you? You don't know that. None of you people at home know that. There you go.
Okay.
So we'll have my bowl already made so that I can hold up to the camera while you're filling up your bowl. Don't give me more than that, man. Come on, what's the matter with you? Look at you.
Well, it's not ready.
I know.
That's good.
This is also going to air at 7:30 at night, so it's not the morning. It's all good. Okay, we're back. Hang on a second. Hang on. So we're back. And we're back. Thank you, Bill, for that. The chili has been cooking for a while, and you're getting your bowl ready.
Yep.
So when Bill was talking about color, you can see exactly what he's talking about here. You see that there is nice color and contrast. This looks like an attractive bowl of chili.
Yeah. Well, don't they say, you know, your appetite is visual?
Is that what they say?
Oh, yeah, something like this. Yeah, some phrase like that. Not exactly, but yeah, the visual appearance of it kind of predetermines how it's going to taste.
Now I can smell some spice in here.
Oh yeah.
That cumin really does have a nice
It's got a smoky taste.
chili type odor to it. So that's beautiful. It's beautiful. Now, and I'm going to give you a spoon, and I of course brought my big boy spoon because I love to
That's
eat.
why you're smart.
All right. So, sir, is this the award-winning chili?
It is the chili. Yeah, I think
All
so.
right.
Yeah.
Let's give it a shot, everybody. This is very, you know what? And the, it has a sweetness and yet a spice to it.
Yep.
I love that combination.
A symphony of flavors.
A cacophony
It's good.
of explosions in my taste. Bill Foxborough, who has shared with us his secrets, spent some time with us and with you, cooking his award-winning Town Hall Firehouse chili. Bill, I want to thank you for taking the time to come out here and share
Bob,
with us.
I really enjoyed it.
And also to introduce the building department, the inspections department.
My pleasure.
To the town.
My pleasure. This
Bill
was fun.
Foxborough can be reached at Town Hall at area code 508-543-1206, or just hit Town Hall at 40 South Street. Everybody knows where it is. On behalf of all the volunteers of Foxborough Cable Access, I'm Bob Hickey. I'm your happy host here in Studio K. I've got Deb Storrs and Betty Travers behind the cameras making the magic happen. Is Gary Nash behind the glass, and of course, Executive Director Mike Weber puts it all together to bring it to you at home. If you have an idea for a future program, if you, a member of your organization, would like to be featured on a future episode of Foxborough Central, just contact the Foxborough Cable Access offices at 508-543-4757 or stop on by our studios at 28 Central Street and give yourself an introduction. It's been a pleasure spending the last hour with you. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I've enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you again. Foxborough, have a great day.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you very much. Enjoyed that.